the Natchez Trace stands as a testament to the enduring power of human ingenuity and perseverance, a 500-mile path that weaves together the very fabric of American history. This ancient route, once trod by Native American tribes and early European settlers, holds secrets of a forgotten era. As we embark on this journey through time, the whispers of the past await, ready to unveil the mysteries hidden along the Natchez Trace. As we delve deeper into the annals of the Natchez Trace, the early 18th century emerges as a pivotal period, marked by the increasing presence of European settlers and the subsequent impact on Native American tribes. The Chickasaw, Choctaw, and Natchez nations, each with their distinct culture and traditions, had long inhabited the region surrounding the Trace. However, with the arrival of French colonizers in the early 1700s, the delicate balance of power began to shift. The French established a series of forts and trading posts along the Trace, including Fort Rosalie, which would later become a crucial hub for commerce and cultural exchange. One notable figure who played a significant role in shaping the history of the Natchez Trace during this period was Jean-Baptiste Le Moyne, Sieur de Bienville, a French explorer and colonial administrator. Bienville's interactions with Native American tribes, particularly the Natchez, were marked by a mix of diplomacy and tension. His efforts to establish trade agreements and forge alliances were often hindered by misunderstandings and cultural clashes, ultimately contributing to the complexities that would come to define the region. The landscape itself, with its dense forests, winding streams, and fertile soil, presented both opportunities and challenges for travelers and settlers. The Trace, as a route, followed the natural contours of the land, utilizing existing Native American pathways and game trails. This organic development allowed the Trace to grow and evolve over time, influenced by the needs and movements of its diverse users. The Natchez themselves, with their sophisticated agricultural practices and complex societal structures, were at the forefront of these changes. Their capital, located near present-day Natchez, Mississippi, was a thriving center of politics, culture, and trade, attracting visitors from across the region. The Grande Village of the Natchez, as it was known, stood as a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of Native American communities, whose histories and traditions continue to enrich our understanding of the Natchez Trace. As the 18th century progressed, the Grande Village of the Natchez continued to thrive, with its complex system of mounds and ceremonial centers serving as a hub for spiritual and political life. The Natchez people's advanced agricultural practices, which included the cultivation of maize, beans, and squash, allowed them to maintain a stable food supply, even in the face of growing European influence. However, the increasing presence of French colonizers and traders began to disrupt the delicate balance of power in the region, leading to tensions between the Natchez and their European neighbors. One notable example of these tensions can be seen in the experiences of André Pennecaut, a French missionary who arrived at the Grande Village in 1704. Pennecaut's attempts to convert the Natchez to Christianity were met with resistance, as the Natchez people saw his efforts as a threat to their traditional way of life. Despite these challenges, Pennecaut remained in the region for several years, learning the Natchez language and gaining insight into their customs and traditions. His writings provide valuable first-hand accounts of life in the Grande Village during this period, offering a unique window into the complexities of Native American-European relations along the Natchez Trace. The French, meanwhile, continued to expand their presence in the region, establishing new forts and trading posts along the Trace. Fort Rosalie, which had been established by Bienville in 1716, emerged as a key center for commerce and cultural exchange, with traders and travelers from across the region converging on the post to exchange goods and share news. The fort's strategic location, situated near the present-day city of Natchez, Mississippi, allowed it to control access to the Mississippi River, making it a crucial hub for the French colonial economy. As trade and commerce flourished along the Natchez Trace, the region became increasingly connected to the broader networks of European colonization in North America. The arrival of new technologies, such as iron plows and firearms, began to transform the lives of Native American communities, who were forced to adapt to a rapidly changing world. The Natchez, with their sophisticated agricultural practices and complex societal structures, were at the forefront of these changes, navigating the challenges and opportunities presented by European colonization in a delicate balancing act that would ultimately shape the course of their history. As the 18th century wore on, the intricate web of alliances and rivalries between Native American tribes and European colonizers continued to evolve along the Natchez Trace. The French, seeking to expand their influence in the region, established new forts and trading posts, including Fort Tombecby, which was constructed in 1735 near present-day Epes, Alabama. This fort played a crucial role in facilitating trade between the French and the Choctaw Nation, who had long been a dominant force in the region. The Choctaw, with their complex societal structures and sophisticated agricultural practices, were well positioned to navigate the challenges of European colonization. They established strong relationships with French traders and colonizers, exchanging goods such as deerskins, furs, and corn for iron tools, firearms, and other European manufactured goods. One notable example of this exchange can be seen in the journals of Antoine-Simon Lepage du Prat, a French colonizer who lived among the Choctaw from 1718 to 1734. Duprat's writings provide valuable insights into the daily lives of the Choctaw, including their agricultural practices, social hierarchies, and spiritual traditions. Meanwhile, tensions between the Natchez and the French continued to simmer, ultimately boiling over into violence in 1729. The Natchez War, as it came to be known, was sparked by a series of disputes over land use and trade agreements. The conflict began on November 28, 1729, when a group of Natchez warriors attacked Fort Rosalie, killing many of the French colonizers and destroying the fort. The war would go on to last for several years, drawing in other Native American tribes and European colonizers from across the region. The French, determined to assert their control over the region, responded to the Natchez attack with force. They assembled a large army composed of French soldiers, Choctaw warriors, and other Native American allies, and marched on the Natchez capital. The resulting battle was brutal and devastating, with many Natchez warriors killed or captured. The Grande village of the Natchez was destroyed, and the Natchez people were forced to flee or be taken into captivity. The aftermath of the Natchez War had profound consequences for the region. Many Natchez people were sold into slavery, while others were forced to flee to other parts of the continent. The French, having asserted their control over the region, continued to expand their influence along the Natchez Trace. They established new forts and trading posts, including Fort de Chartres, which was constructed in 1720 near present-day Prairie du Rocher, Illinois. This fort played a crucial role in facilitating trade between the French and Native American tribes in the region and helped to solidify French control over the Mississippi River Valley. As the French continued to expand their influence in the region, they also began to establish new agricultural practices and settlements along the Natchez Trace. They introduced European crops such as wheat, oats, and barley, which were well suited to the region's climate and soil. They also established large plantations worked by enslaved Africans and Native Americans, which produced crops such as cotton, tobacco, and indigo. These plantations would go on to play a major role in the regional economy and would help to shape the course of American history. As the French solidified their control over the Mississippi River Valley, they continued to establish new settlements and agricultural practices along the Natchez Trace. One notable example is the establishment of the village of Stayé, Genevieve, which was founded in 1735 by a group of French colonizers. This village, located near present-day Saint-Faré, Genevieve, Missouri, became an important center for trade and commerce in the region, with many merchants and traders setting up shop to exchange goods such as furs, pelts, and grains. The French also established a series of forts and outposts along the Natchez Trace, including Fort de Chartres, which was constructed in 1720 near present-day Prairie du Rocher, Illinois. This fort played a crucial role in facilitating trade between the French and Native American tribes in the region and helped to solidify French control over the Mississippi River Valley. The fort was also an important center for the production of goods such as gunpowder, lead, and other military supplies, which were essential for the French military presence in the region. One notable figure who played a significant role in the development of the Natchez Trace during this period was Étienne de Vignard, Sieur de Beaumont, a French explorer and military officer who served as the commander of Fort de Chartres from 1720 to 1725. Bourgmont was instrumental in establishing trade relationships with Native American tribes in the region, including the Illinois and the Miami, and helped to negotiate several important treaties that secured French control over the Mississippi River Valley. As the French continued to expand their influence along the Natchez Trace, they also began to encounter new challenges and obstacles. One of the most significant challenges was the growing presence of British traders and colonizers in the region, who were seeking to establish their own claims to the territory. This led to a series of tensions and conflicts between the French and the British, which would ultimately contribute to the outbreak of the French and Indian War in 1754. Despite these challenges, the Natchez Trace continued to grow and develop as an important transportation route and commercial hub. The road was improved and expanded, with new bridges and ferries being constructed to facilitate travel and trade. The French also established a series of way stations and taverns along the road, which provided food, lodging, and other services to travelers and traders. One notable example of these way stations is the Aubert Tavern, which was located near present-day Washington, Mississippi. This tavern was operated by a French colonizer named Louis Aubert, who offered food, lodging, and other services to travelers and traders. The tavern also served as an important center for news and information, with many travelers and traders stopping to share stories and exchange goods. As the French continued to expand their influence along the Natchez Trace, they also began to encounter new challenges and obstacles. One of the most significant challenges was the growing presence of British traders and colonizers in the region, who were seeking to establish their own claims to the territory. This led to a series of tensions and conflicts between the French and the British, which would ultimately contribute to the outbreak of the French and Indian War in 1754. In the years leading up to the war, the Natchez Trace became an increasingly important route for French traders and colonizers seeking to establish themselves in the region. One notable example is the journey of Pierre Laclede, a French fur trader who traveled along the Natchez Trace in 1763 with a group of men and established the settlement of St. Louis, Missouri. Laclede's journey was significant not only because it marked the establishment of a new French settlement in the region, but also because it highlighted the growing importance of the Natchez Trace as a transportation route. As tensions between the French and British continued to escalate, the Natchez Trace became a critical supply line for French military forces in the region. In 1757, the French commander, Louis-Joseph de Montcalm, used the Natchez Trace to transport troops and supplies from New Orleans to Fort Duquesne, which was located near present-day Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This journey was significant not only because it demonstrated the strategic importance of the Natchez Trace, but also because it highlighted the difficulties and challenges faced by French military forces in the region. Despite these challenges, the Natchez Trace continued to grow and develop as an important transportation route and commercial hub. In 1762, the French established a new fort near present-day Vicksburg, Mississippi, which was designed to protect the Natchez Trace from British attacks. The fort, known as Fort St. Pierre, was garrisoned by a detachment of French soldiers and played a critical role in securing the Natchez Trace during the French and Indian War. As the war drew to a close, the Natchez Trace became an important route for British forces seeking to establish themselves in the region. In 1763, the British commander, Geoffrey Amherst, used the Natchez Trace to transport troops and supplies from New Orleans to Fort Pitt, which was located near present-day Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This journey marked the beginning of a new era for the Natchez Trace, as it became an increasingly important route for British traders and colonizers seeking to establish themselves in the region. One notable example of the growing British presence along the Natchez Trace is the establishment of the village of Natchez, which was founded in 1764 by a group of British settlers. The village, located near present-day Natchez, Mississippi, became an important center for trade and commerce in the region, with many merchants and traders setting up shop to exchange goods such as cotton, tobacco, and indigo. As the British solidified their control over the region, the Natchez Trace continued to grow and develop as an important transportation route and commercial hub. In 1772, the British established a new fort near present-day Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which was designed to protect the Natchez Trace from Spanish attacks. The fort, known as Fort New Richmond, was garrisoned by a detachment of British soldiers and played a critical role in securing the Natchez Trace during the American Revolution. The growing importance of the Natchez Trace during this period is also reflected in the journals and accounts of travelers who used the route. One notable example is the Journal of Philip Pittman, a British trader who traveled along the Natchez Trace in 1770 with a group of men and established trade relationships with Native American tribes in the region. Pittman's journal provides valuable insights into the challenges and opportunities faced by traders and travelers along the Natchez Trace during this period. As the American Revolution drew to a close, the Natchez Trace became an increasingly important route for American settlers seeking to establish themselves in the region. In 1785, the Spanish governor of Louisiana, Esteban Rodriguez Miro, granted a group of American settlers permission to establish a new settlement near present-day Nashville, Tennessee, which would become known as Fort Nashboro. The settlement was established by a group of men led by James Robertson, who used the Natchez Trace to transport themselves and their supplies to the region. As the American settlers established themselves in the region, the Natchez Trace continued to play a vital role in the development of the area. In 1791, the Spanish government granted a group of settlers permission to establish a new town near present-day Jackson, Mississippi, which would become known as Pinckneyville. The town was strategically located along the Natchez Trace, and it quickly became an important stop for travelers and traders. One notable example of the importance of the Natchez Trace during this period is the journey of Andrew Jackson, who would later become the 7th President of the United States. In 1791, Jackson traveled along the Natchez Trace with a group of men to establish a new settlement in the region. They faced numerous challenges along the way, including treacherous terrain and hostile Native American tribes. Despite these obstacles, Jackson's party successfully established a new settlement near present-day Nashville, Tennessee, which would become known as Fort Nashboro. As the years passed, the Natchez Trace continued to grow in importance. In 1801, the U.S. Congress authorized the construction of a new road along the Natchez Trace, which would improve travel conditions and facilitate trade between the Mississippi River and the Tennessee Valley. The road was constructed by a team of engineers and laborers who worked tirelessly to build a stable and reliable route through the challenging terrain. The construction of the new road had a significant impact on the development of the region. It enabled faster and more efficient travel, which in turn facilitated the growth of trade and commerce. The road also played a critical role in the westward expansion of the United States, as it provided a vital link between the Mississippi River and the Tennessee Valley. One notable example of the impact of the Natchez Trace on the region is the growth of the town of Nashville, Tennessee. In 1806, Nashville was officially incorporated as a city, and it quickly became an important commercial center in the region. The city's strategic location along the Natchez Trace made it an ideal hub for trade and commerce, and it attracted merchants and traders from all over the country. As the years passed, the Natchez Trace continued to play a vital role in the development of the region. In 1812, the U.S. government established a new postal route along the Natchez Trace, which enabled faster and more efficient communication between the Mississippi River and the Tennessee Valley. The postal route was an important milestone in the development of the region, as it facilitated the exchange of goods, services, and ideas between different parts of the country. The War of 1812 also had a significant impact on the Natchez Trace. In 1813, a group of American soldiers traveled along the Natchez Trace to attack a British fort near present-day Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The battle was a decisive victory for the Americans, and it marked an important turning point in the war. As the war drew to a close, the Natchez Trace continued to play a vital role in the development of the region. In 1816, the U.S. government established a new Indian agency along the Natchez Trace, which was responsible for managing relations between the federal government and Native American tribes in the region. The Indian Agency played a critical role in maintaining peace and stability in the region, and it helped to facilitate the growth of trade and commerce. The growth of trade and commerce along the Natchez Trace also led to the development of new industries and businesses in the region. In 1820, a group of entrepreneurs established a new cotton mill near present-day Jackson, Mississippi, which was one of the first of its kind in the region. The cotton mill was a significant milestone in the development of the region's economy, as it enabled the production of cotton textiles on a large scale. As the years passed, the Natchez Trace continued to grow in importance. In 1830, the U.S. government established a new stagecoach line along the Natchez Trace, which provided regular transportation services between the Mississippi River and the Tennessee Valley. The stagecoach line was an important milestone in the development of the region's transportation infrastructure, as it enabled faster and more efficient travel. The growth of the stagecoach line also led to the development of new towns and cities along the Natchez Trace. In 1835, a group of settlers established a new town near present-day Meridian, Mississippi, which was strategically located along the stagecoach route. The town quickly grew into an important commercial center, with merchants and traders coming from all over the region to buy and sell goods. As the years passed, the Natchez Trace continued to play a vital role in the development of the region. In 1840, the U.S. government established a new railroad line along the Natchez Trace, which provided faster and more efficient transportation services between the Mississippi River and the Tennessee Valley. The railroad line was an important milestone in the development of the region's transportation infrastructure, as it enabled the rapid movement of goods and people. The growth of the railroad line also led to the development of new industries and businesses in the region. In 1850, a group of entrepreneurs established a new lumber mill near present-day Jackson, Mississippi, which was one of the first of its kind in the region. The lumber mill was a significant milestone in the development of the region's economy, as it enabled the production of lumber on a large scale. As the years passed, the Natchez Trace continued to grow in importance. In 1860, the U.S. government established a new telegraph line along the Natchez Trace, which provided rapid communication services between the Mississippi River and the Tennessee Valley. The telegraph line was an important milestone in the development of the region's communication infrastructure, as it enabled the rapid exchange of information. The American Civil War also had a significant impact on the Natchez Trace. In 1863, a group of Union soldiers traveled along the Natchez Trace to attack a Confederate fort near present-day Vicksburg, Mississippi. The battle was a decisive victory for the Union, and it marked an important turning point in the war. As the war drew to a close, the Natchez Trace continued to play a vital role in the development of the region. In 1865, the U.S. government established a new Freedmen's Bureau along the Natchez Trace, which was responsible for providing assistance to former slaves in the region. The Freedmen's Bureau played a critical role in maintaining peace and stability in the region, and it helped to facilitate the growth of trade and commerce. In the years that followed, the Natchez Trace continued to grow in importance. In 1870, the U.S. government established a new railroad line along the Natchez Trace, which provided faster and more efficient transportation services between the Mississippi River and the Tennessee Valley. The railroad line was an important milestone in the development of the region's transportation infrastructure, as it enabled the rapid movement of goods and people. Today, the Natchez Trace is remembered as a vital part of American history. It played a critical role in the development of the region, facilitating the growth of trade and commerce and enabling the westward expansion of the United States. The Natchez Trace also had a profound impact on the lives of countless individuals, from Native American tribes to European American settlers who traveled along the route and established new communities in the region. In recognition of its historical significance, the Natchez Trace was designated as a National Scenic Trail in 1983. The trail stretches for over 400 miles, from Nashville, Tennessee to Natchez, Mississippi, and it passes through some of the most beautiful and historic landscapes in the country. Visitors can explore the trail by car, bike, or on foot and experience the rich history and culture of the region. From its humble beginnings as a Native American trail to its pivotal role in the westward expansion of the United States, the Natchez Trace has been a conduit for commerce, culture, and human connection. Its impact can still be felt today, a testament to the power of perseverance and exploration that defines our shared heritage. Thank you for joining me throughout this historical journey. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, And until next time, remember that, to understand the present, we must first understand the past.